let's just do here. So we had the roses, we had the peonies, we have, what do
we had
hydrangeas
and peonies, and now we're doing roses.
Okay, so these roses, I'll steal that. These are the Coral at Last roses. This is everything that you want out of a rose. It's easy maintenance.
Yeah.
It happens to still be fragrant.
Yes.
Most gorgeous color possible.
And super fluffy.
And fluffy. Also new, $34, $11.33 on 3 easy pays. It's M132218. No need for extensive pruning, right? Or pesticides.
Right. I've been growing roses for years, and I have the really high maintenance tea roses. I also have the no maintenance shrub roses. This is a combination of the two. So what you end up with is a no maintenance tea rose, basically.
Pretty.
It's a shrub. It's going to be 3 by 3 feet, but it's also what's called a floribunda rose. A floribunda rose is something that grows multiple blooms at the end of the stem, like little bouquets all over the shrub. So you're going to get oodles and oodles of these beautiful coral roses. And because they look like a tea rose and they act like a tea rose and they are fragrant like a tea rose does not mean they are high maintenance like a tea rose, because they're not. I like to say, you know, roses are like the royalty of your garden, and most roses act like that.
Right.
They want things. They need a lot of servitude. They need maintenance.
They need servitude. That's my favorite.
Just, you gotta take care of them all the
Rose.
time, right? So that's why a lot of people say, oh man, I do not have time for that. I just want pretty flowers. So that's what you're gonna get with this rose. And you're getting a 1-gallon plant already coming to you that's going to burst with blooms this season. Nice. This is not a bare root rose. The bare root roses are those high maintenance ones. This comes in a pot, a gallon pot, like a knockout rose. And you can see this PW stands for Proven Winners.
What does that mean?
Proven Winners is a company that if you see this on the label, you know this plant is going to do well.
Okay.
This is the grower. This is the grower. And they actually developed the At Last rose and called it At Last, because at last they found a rose that was as easy as my rose has come along. But this is a rose that, again, you could plant like a shrub rose, like a knockout, and water it and forget it. But unlike a knockout, which gives you, you know, flowers with like 1 layer of petals, and they have really no fragrance, nothing super special, just, you know, they look pretty. This gives you this color and fluffy, multiple layers of petals like a long stem rose, which, by the way, you can cut these and put them in a vase. And the fragrance is knockout.
Really?
This intoxicating vanilla rose fragrance, which you will smell for blocks. I mean, it's just, especially if you plant these in a row, they like the sunshine, and that you won't kill them if you put them in part shade, but they just won't get as big as the ones that are in full sun. Because roses, traditionally, any kind of rose, loves a lot of sunshine.
Isn't it so nice? I think it's just extra special when you grow your own florals like this, and a beautiful rose with a beautiful fragrance. Instead of going to the store and picking up a bouquet of roses to cut from your own home. It's so extra special that way to present a new neighbor or someone who's, you know, maybe had a new baby or a new surgery.
And you could spend that money you saved on a fabulous dinner.
There you go.
You know, or go out and get some really nice steaks for dinner and have your own roses on the table.
They're so pretty.
So, you know, this is also great for a cutting garden, as you mentioned. So you'll cut these, you can bring them in. And the other thing about these is the coral color, because the coral is very trending right now. I had coral peonies last year.
Yeah.
And they sold out very quickly because people are all about wanting this pop of coral in their garden now. So, you know, many roses are shades of pink and yellow and white. Maybe you can find a lavender rose, which a lot of those are, again, the high maintenance varieties. This is something in a shrub rose form, which generally comes in pink or red. This is coral, and it's going to give you big, fluffy, like long stem roses type blooms on a shrub. So this is really, really special, and I know a lot of you have already ordered this, but I encourage you not to let this get away, because this is not something you're going to find easily in your local flower shop. And, you know, just a reminder, with all of our plant shows this time of the year, I know it's, for many of us, still winter. It's cold outside. The ground is hard as a rock. It's hard to think about planting flowers. But what you're doing right now is reserving yours. We're not going to ship these to you till it's time to plant them. And we know that via your address, what zone you live in.
Your zip code.
So this will go to you when it's the proper time to plant it, and you won't come back and see a sold out sign when you're like, oh man, I wonder if those coral roses are still available.
Well, probably not.
And they probably won't be.
This was just introduced on the 13th. Today is the 24th. And we've gone through, what was that, Jen? More than half of our quantities already. So you have to pick this up now. You have to reserve yours now. Pick up more than one, which I know a lot of you do, especially since this is the best of both worlds when it comes to roses. It's the color, it's the fragrance, I guess of three worlds, the color, the fragrance, and the fact that it is easy maintenance. It's M132218. The phone number to call for QVC2, by the way, if you want to get ahead of the proverbial line, is 800-500-7590. And if you are shopping on your app or on QVC.com, just because it's in your cart, it's not saved for you yet. You have to check out. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Doesn't mean you have to stop shopping. Keep on shopping. This ships for free anyway.
I've had many things disappear out of my cart because I forgot they were in there. And then I'd go back and they'd be, whoops, this is sold out now. Sorry.
It happens
lady.
all the time.
But meanwhile, you know, I don't think with any of my plants we're able to get more in. We got as many loaded in as we can. So please get these. And I wanted to mention too that a couple of tips for roses. This is, again, you're going to dig a hole about twice as big as this root ball that's in here, okay? And then you want to put some really good garden soil in there. Mix in some garden soil. Then you want to water the hole. Water in the hole.
Water in the hole.
And then you want to make sure you water your plant. Then gently, when you get a pot like this, you guys, if you're new at gardening, press on it a little bit like this.
Okay.
And some people will even lay it on its side on the ground and gently step on it. But you want to loosen up those roots that are congregating at the bottom of the pot. Pull it out, put it in the hole, cover it all up with that soil you removed, and then add a little bit of mulch to the top if you can. Wait about a week before you fertilize it, give it a chance to settle into its new home, and then put that bounty on it. And that's really all you're going to need to do with these. They're so easy.
I mean, so easy, even I could do it.
You could. I promise you could.
Now, you can do this in the ground. You can do it in a pot as well?
Yes, same thing in a pot. Just make sure your pot has really good potting soil, and then, you know, make sure it's big enough. I'd say for a rose like this, you would need like a whiskey barrel size pot. You don't want it to be too tightly closed, or it won't. What happens is it'll stay this size.
Oh, yeah.
It won't get big. Yeah, so, but a pot is fine, and it will withstand the winter. It's a hardy rose, even if it's in a pot.
And if I live in Southern California, if I live in Miami, if I live in Arizona?
This is to zone 9.
Okay.
So I had roses in Southern California.
Yeah, my parents
I lived in LA. I didn't live in San Diego.
Yeah, same.
So, but I think as long as you're not way into zone 10, you're okay.
Gotcha. M132218, a lot of you are picking up more than one, and considering we've already gone through half of our quantities in just about 10 days, I think that's a really good idea, because what we have is what we have. And it's $11.33 on an easy pay, plus it ships for free. Don't you want beautiful roses and gorgeous color that aren't hard to maintain and smell like a dream? Of course you do.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to see you, and I know that we have a big day coming up.
I have a big day on Thursday. I can't say any more, but please tune in on Thursday. It's our first full garden event of the year. It's not home and garden, it's all garden, and man, do we have some surprises.
I can't wait.
So I'll see you then.
I'll be tuning in.
Thanks, everybody.
So much, Carolyn. Great to see you. Okay, so don't forget about how we started the show with Carolyn.